So monologues are supposed to be at the top of the show, but Elisa and Natalie thought that would be too complicated because the guests would have to wait for 20 minutes before they get on and everything would be pushed back. So I'm putting the monologues at the end of the show. But nonetheless, these monologues are designed to provoke thought more than anything else. For years and years and years, we have had arguments about calories in, calories out versus hormonal effects, thyroid, sleep, cortisol. I mean, the list goes on and on for the reasons that people can't lose body fat. I remember years ago when I was doing the show, we discovered the thrifty gene. Oh, it's not your fault genetically. You're just big boned. You can't lose weight. And so when we talk about dieting, we really need to recategorize it to casual dieting. Because dieting usually has different desired outcomes, right? I want to diet, I want to get leaner, and I want to build more muscle. That's one outcome. The other one is I just want to lose weight. I don't care. I want to step on the scale and I want to be 15 pounds lighter. That's another outcome. The list goes on and on and on. But when we talk about this, we have people who seem not to have the same results as other people. And so then we go, oh, well, that person has a thrifty gene, or they're going through menopause and hormonally they can't lose weight, and all these other reasons. And for years, I have used an analogy, and I'm going to put this up. This is not, this picture is graphic, but it's a prisoner of war camp. And I want you to see something. Now, these guys are in a prisoner of war camp. And as you can see, a couple of them are shirtless. The one guy with the jacket, the striped pants, is helping the other guy stand up, as you can see. They're very weak. They're very lean. I mean, look at these guys. I mean, they're lean like Zac Efron. I mean, there is a fat guy in the group. There's not one guy, everybody goes, man, I don't get it. They starve us all, but Joe is still 300 pounds. I just don't understand. And that's because calories in, calories out does matter. Now, we have people that go to, the first law of thermodynamics, the second law of thermodynamics. All that stuff is great in casual dieting discussions. But when we look at the most extreme form of dieting, which is starvation, no one who is starving keeps body fat. Okay? So let's take this discussion. And I created some banners to keep me on track. So the first thing that we hear from people about dieting and why it doesn't work for them is because they're hormonally, something's wrong. They're going through menopause, their thyroid isn't functioning, blah, 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 blah. And I promise at the end of this discussion, I'm going to tell you what the real issue is. Well, I think, and I'm going to keep putting this picture up. I apologize for who it offends. But I think we can agree that these guys are hormonally fucked. They probably have no testosterone. Their thyroids have crashed. And God knows what other hormones that they had when they were healthy and young, they're gone. So these guys are not, it's not like, but they're hormonally optimized. So of course they're losing weight. No. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. Okay. All right. Next. For years, we heard about how cortisol makes you get fat. And cortisol is caused by what? Stress. Can we all agree that these guys who are probably waiting for death are pretty stressed? Can we all agree that these guys probably have really irregular cortisol patterns? Maybe their cortisol has actually run out. Maybe their adrenal glands is exhausted and there's not even anything coming out anymore. Right? Can we agree that, so these guys, hormonally challenged, they live in a high stress environment of life and death. Their cortisol is probably raging when it shouldn't be. Can we also agree that they probably didn't have a lot of activity? I guess they could go out and walk in the prison yard. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. Maybe the conditions were such where they couldn't go out. So they probably stayed inside, hunkered down in these crappy little barracks. Can we all agree that they probably didn't have a lot of activity? And so, you know, non-exercise induced activity was not even in the equation. And let's look at the guy who's being helped up for the picture. He probably can't walk anywhere anyway. So it's not like the activity you know, is an issue, the lack thereof, or if they are. Can we also agree that their sleep probably sucks? I mean, all those guys in that room, probably 3 or 4 sleeping in a bed. The conditions probably suck. A lot of us like to sleep in cool. I would imagine that whatever the room felt like, that's what they slept in. They were the air sucked. So let's agree that they probably didn't wake up every morning and go, man, that was the most refreshing night's sleep I've ever had. So sleep isn't on their side either. And then their family lifestyle. We always hear, well, you know, you get your habits from your family. Clearly, maybe their family members loved certain foods, but they're not eating them anymore. In fact, they're not eating much of anything. They're starving, and they're all lean. There's not a fat one in the group. Now, let's talk about something else. And this is where the problem is with casual dieting, adjusted metabolic rates. Okay. So we can all agree that, oh, yeah, you know, if I get 1,600 calories a day, I should be able to lose weight. Well, that's only if your body actually uses those 1,600 calories a day. But the longer you diet, your body tries to protect itself from dying by reducing its requirements for energy. So the thyroid shuts down. Sex hormones shut down because you're starving to death. The last thing you need to do is make a baby. So we see this metabolic adjustment occurring as you are losing weight, because the body doesn't want to lose weight, because the body is afraid that if you lose too much weight, you're going to end up like these guys and die. This is where the problem is. It's not with your hormones, because if it was, these guys would still be fat. You know, your thyroid or your cortisol levels or your inactivity or your sleep. They are eating every day far less than what their body needs. And that is even in the face of their metabolic rate dropping. These guys probably, they're probably using 600-800 calories a day. And this is where I really believe the problem is. Let me get this picture down. Oh, no, it looks better than my face. People set goals for calories. They have no idea what they're using every day. Oh, yeah, we guess. Our watches tell us. But short of actually getting on a calorimeter and assessing how many calories you use a day, it's a shot in the dark. So you're starving yourself at 1,200 calories a day, but if your body is only using 900 calories a day, you're not going to lose weight. This is where the problem is. Everybody wants to talk about this diet and that diet, but if you are not eating less than your body burns every day, if you're filling your gas tank up every day and you're only burning a third of a tank, you got a lot of spillover, you got a lot of waste. If your body is shutting down like these guys did, their bodies shut down, but even in the face of probably limited energy requirements, they continued to lose weight. The body started to scavenge itself. It ate its muscles. It ate its fat. And eventually they will die. Now, I am not suggesting that people diet like this. I am not suggesting that people starve themselves. But what I am suggesting is, let's stop the bullshit. This starvation proves that calories are all that matters. It does. Now, if that pisses you off, I'm sorry, but it's the truth. If it wasn't the truth, then we would have at least one fat guy in this group here. One guy who, no matter how much they starve him, he just never loses weight. It's just hard to believe because his metabolism is better than yours, or his hormones are better than yours, or he's sleeping. No. At the end of the day, regardless, assuming that you are eating less than your energy requirements are, you will lose weight. Now, based on your physiology, that may be a horribly little amount of food. And nobody wants to live with that pain, the pain of feeling hungry all the time. But sadly, that's what it may take for you to lose body fat. So I think it's time to stop the bullshit. I think it's time to stop my hormones, my thyroid, my cortisol, my sleep, and all this other bullshit that we try to ascribe to the reason that one person or another person can't lose body fat, and agree that they are just eating more than their body is burning. End of fucking story. And if I'm wrong, show me a prisoner of war camp with somebody who they starved like everybody else, but he was still 280 pounds. You're not going to be able to do it. Starvation proves calories are all that matter at the end of the day if weight loss is the goal. There they are, guys and gals. That's it. All right, so that's all I got. That's my monologue. I hope that it didn't insult too many people, but I hope I challenge you to think a little bit clearer when you want to blame your diet on something other than the fact that you are putting more in your mouth than your body is using energetically. That's it. And don't forget, you got to do it every day for a long period of time to see weight loss. It doesn't happen overnight. That's another thing. People are very impatient. It's the truth. And again, starvation proves it. All right. Thank you for being here today. Thank you. Share the show. Thanks for all the comments and questions. It makes the show so much more enjoyable for me. And we'll see you tomorrow with more Superhuman Radio. Take care.